XDC Monetary Authority of Singapore. Listen to this, guys. MAS has announced new requirements for digital payment token DPT service providers to keep customer assets under a statutory trust before the end of the year. This is reported straight from Singapore yesterday, July 3rd. If you're wondering why we mention this, because it will mitigate risk. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, here we go. This will basically mitigate the risk of loss or misuse of customers' assets. All sounds good, right? Very, very good. And facilitate the recovery of customers' assets in the event of a DPT service provider's insolvency. Yes, we are on the topic of insolvency. Yes, again, come on, guys. It gets mentioned at least once every, 1 to 3 months? Or once every 3 months. I would say on average within the last year and a half of doing this, covering crypto, we do mention what exchange is going to be potentially insolvent, right? MAS will also restrict DPT service providers from facilitating lending and staking of DPT tokens by their retail customers. Now, of course, I use KuCoin. I understand that we're not going to be able to, I guess we won't be able to do any more spot trading. I don't know. I think Cool Cat was talking about some of that last night. We have to get some more confirmation. But to my understanding on KuCoin, all we're going to be able to do is basically sell or withdraw, right? Kind of sucks, you know. But KuCoin, one of the things that stands out about KuCoin is also the lending. They have a lot of lending. So what's going to happen with this? I mean, we know that KuCoin's out of Singapore as well. So here's some of this reference that you see here. I'm not going to jump into all of this, okay? But, you know, this was published on yesterday, okay? You know, MAS is now seeking public feedback on the draft legislation amendments to the payment service regulations to put these requirements into effect. Let's go to the next page. Basically speaking, you know, MAS had consulted the broad regulatory approach, listen to this, on market integrity in October 2022 public consultation. Most response agreed with MAS observations, on good industry practice to address market integrity risks, and some respondents suggested that MAS should impose further measures to prevent market abuse and unfair trading practices. This fuels the whole debate of that regulatory clarity. All right, getting more into this. All right. Yeah, like this guy said, where's the XDC headquarters? It's in Singapore. So it kind of makes sense for them to come out with some of this. All right, so forget the whole thing about regulations and so on. As far as like an actual article, let's get an actual visual about some of this stuff. So we have reported in the past in regards to the electronic, you know, documents trade and so on, right? Especially with XDC, you know, the main thing that stands out about XDC is obviously the trade industry. Always is mentioned, trade. XDC inaugural, the electronic trade documents bill is set to come into law in September with MLeader. We've done a deep dive about MLeader, okay? We're going to play this. They're going to give you kind of an update on where we're going, this path towards September. Smash that like. I think this is the first video I got to play today. So here's finally a visual. Here we go.
Do you have an estimate of when you think it's going to come into force?
Again, we are hoping for September. Yes, it looks like September if things go as planned. I don't know if you, Carl, or Emmanuel or Alex have any other insights into this.
Yeah, it's as far as I'm aware, there is the third reading, which effectively brings it into law, will happen before recess. So it will definitely happen before the end of this session of Parliament. So, and actually, I was with an MP yesterday who sits on the Trade Committee, who's obviously very keen in getting this through as soon as possible. And his view very much was, yes, the final reading will happen within the next couple of weeks. So to your point, Gunnar, yes, it should be passed with royal assent before recess, which is, I think, what, mid-July. So, which would then probably bring it into law in September. That's my understanding anyway.
Fantastic. All right. Now, Alex.
That's right around the corner. You know, so many crazy dates coming up. July 20th, FedNow, this whole thing in regards to, you know, the trade industry in September. How about this other one? Let's get more into it. So we shared this in regards to the electronic trade documents bill. We have a little bit more XDC for you. This one is also worth paying attention to in regards to Finastra. So here's an update. And let me come back into the frame. Okay. So on this one, it says XDC Finastra Fusion Trade Innovation Front End and Back End. Again, a little bit of an update, right? So, you know, saw that little brief video in regards to Inigio, whatever you want to call it. Inigio, man. All right. Original/Compen Trade AI. This one is not that long. All right. Let me play
now,
this.
let's have a look inside.
Let's rewind it. And then after the video, there's like a couple slides, but it's good stuff. Some of you guys are interested in this, especially if you hold XDC, you do need to pay attention to this. So go ahead and play this. Here we go.
Now, let's have a look inside the bank and see how the solution benefits Brian, Head of Trade Finance Operations. Brian needs to optimize compliance checks and streamline the document checking process, so transactions are turned around quicker for Engine Parts Inc. A member of Brian's operations team uploads the documents, and the system automatically completes sanctions and compliance checks. Checks for consistency and identifies potential discrepancies. This information is fed directly into Fusion Trade Innovation for processing. The document and sanctions check-in solutions were delivered as a pre-integrated app from Finastra, allowing us to realize value immediately through reducing the need for additional testing. With a unified digital channel and a market-leading back office for working capital finance, I've been able to reduce operating costs by 60% and support clients who were previously unable to grow their business or access financing. Are you ready to deliver new products and services to your corporate clients at faster speed and lower cost? With Finastra, you can. Imagine a world with Fusion Trade Innovation. Win new business, deliver new products at speed, and reduce operating costs with an integrated, automated working capital finance solution. Improve customer experience through a front-to-back solution that gives a consolidated view of transactions and data for both the bank and the client. Future-proof your business with an ecosystem of pre-integrated value-add apps built with open APIs and available in the cloud. The future of working capital finance is open with Finastra.
All right. So I'm going to show you guys the rest of this in regards to like Finastra and so on. Let me just get into this. Okay, present it again. All right, so here's a little bit of Finastra, whatever you want to call it. You see this right here on how it has a little bit of a breakdown, right? The Fusion Trade Innovation Industry Leading Booking Engine, open digital channels, AI and automation, digital at source, so on and so forth. You see some of these things in regards to their initiative. Hybrid blockchain for industry-wide tracking and funding of trade assets, obviously XDC. You see Inigio, where you want to call it, digital negotiable instruments, D&I, digital bills of exchange and promissory notes. Superior user experience. How about this in regards to what it says for trade tech? Trade as investable asset class. Again, it's all tied in together with XDC. So that's good stuff. Now we're going to get into some of the other main things that's worth pointing out because I don't know if you realize that Finastra's Trade AI app goes live on Finastra's Fusion Fabric Cloud. I'll just pull that up for just a brief moment. I'm not going to get super into it. I don't want to make it like as long as the Jasmine segment. But, you know, this, again, originally started happening all the way back a few years ago, right? So it's not like it's not something that, you know, people aren't aware of, okay? So I just thought I'd show you guys this. Yeah, there. I meant to show that tab. So this has been around for a while. And then on top of that, let me show this tab instead. Get off this one. Talks about some of this stuff, right? So this was reported on July 1st of 2023, and this is quite the breakdown. This is not XDC network in phase 1. Obviously, we're always going to reference R3 because, you know, the R3 core to XDC bridge is huge, okay? Inigio, Cargo X in phase 2. Think about what's mentioned here. You know, when you think about literally trade, do you not think of Cargo? All right, that's a great name in my opinion. Trade Tech, Trada, Trade Trust, Comgo, Trade Shift, and Supplier Plus in phase 3. Lots of different phases. You know, some people want to, not necessarily us, but I mean, we've seen some of the FUD, right? There's always FUD in every project, unfortunately. People complain about, oh, XDC doesn't have a lot of price action going on. Yeah, but you want to know something? Just because you don't see a lot from them, understand that what they have been building in the background. Again, I don't want to accumulate any of these digital assets when things have, you know, been fully built and the utilities are already being used all over the trade industry. Let's give this a look, like it says. I mean, look at this. We will talk about phase 1 for a brief moment, right? I mean, there's some key players here. I'm going to blow this up even a little bit more. Look at this. Is this not impressive? I mean, phase 1, you have, for instance, Flexport. You have, I'm just shouting out the ones that kind of look familiar to me at least. Zenita. You have obviously XDC shown on here, right? Phase 2. There's a lot in regards to phase 2. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, look at all these industries. Like, it speaks for itself. Cargo 1, Cargo X, Go Freight, right? Who knows? Maybe Mr. Elon Musk will be, you know, branch out into some of this stuff that you see here, right? Crazy stuff, right? All right. Phase 3. Look at this. Accelerated payments, AP, Alma, Aston. I'm just going with some of them. Trade Shift. The TFG, the Trade Finance Global. Trade Tech. D'Amica. I don't know. Very impressive. Now, on the top right, it's super hard to see it. But it mentions, that's all in a different language. I thought that was mentioning something cool. But anyway, thought I'd show you guys that. I mean, that is just, you know, when they talk about the trade industry being massive, is that not massive? You know, think about like some blockchain projects that talk about building out an ecosystem. This is why you see, you know, and I'll give him a shout out, even though he won't even give me the right time of day. It's okay. Richard Common Sense Crypto. He always talks about how huge the trade industry is. Here's the perfect representation. Okay, all the different phases. All right, let's jump back to this for a brief moment, and that is this right here. Hold on a second. Let's see. I love this part. I'm gonna show you guys this real quick. This guy says, my friend, I don't see XDC network on this chart, but I know that XDC is in the process. And any reason why XDC is not on the map? It's called, you just need to look harder. All right. I'll just show you guys a little bit more of what I'm talking about. It's going to be hard for you guys to see, but it's bottom left, phase 1, right next to Zenita. And XDC is right there. Okay. All right. I'm going to jump back to what we have, and let's get into this. Hold on just a second. Here we go. So a little bit more in regards to XDC. Check this out as well. Future-proofing trade transactions from ClearEye.ai, not Clearpool, ClearEye, plus JP Morgan. Ooh, that sounds bullish in itself, right? ClearEye, which they have their own page at clearai.com, or not ClearEye.com, ClearEye.ai, is a member of the DNI initiative, which focuses on Inigio's Trace original technology that uses XDC. Trace originally is fully integrated with Fusion Trade Innovation. They even have like kind of a brief trailer before we get into that. I'm going to show you some key things. Look what's highlighted here. I don't need to blow it up anymore. All right. Here's Inigio, Finastra, all highlighted. XDC network, ClearEye AI, reduces costs and enhanced fraud protection. Originally fully integrated with Fusion Trade Innovation, reducing the costs associated with white paper-based transaction, reduces fraud, you name it, right? All sorts of good stuff. A little bit more in regards to all of this, a little bit from ClearEye. Enable efficiency in trade finance processing by automating document scrutiny, rules, validation, and compliance checks. I mean, why not point out some of this stuff? Now, check out this preview trailer, whatever you want to call it. This is cool stuff. Smash that like for some XDC. Come on, who doesn't want to mention some of this stuff? Even if we're not fans of JP Morgan, but we are fans of understanding that this is a big player, and to tie it all into XDC is big. We're going to go ahead and play this. Please smash the like. Here we go.
How do you future-proof trade finance operations? At JP Morgan, we believe the answer is to embrace the changing ways of the industry. And it all begins with redefining the way trade finance operations are run. Today's back-office operations, whether global or regional, face global challenges. New regulatory requirements, rising costs, aging technology, a shrinking pool of the specialized workers needed to keep operations running smoothly. It's all adding up and slowing businesses down. The time for change is now. After assessing multiple options that included rigorous vendor analyses, JP Morgan is excited to announce our new strategic alliance with ClearEye, a move that's changing trade finance forever. ClearEye's automated ClearTrade platform replaces many of the manual steps of traditional processes. By eliminating the need for employees to pore over the millions of physical documents that litter today's trade finance world, it streamlines the time and effort required for each and every transaction. ClearTrade's digital platform uses proprietary technology to scan documents for you, and it seamlessly integrates with sanction screening systems to enable a true end-to-end review of all trade finance documents. Powered by their sophisticated rules engine, which reduces the time and operational costs associated with document examination and adherence to industry rules and standard banking practices. Plus, it automatically flags potential money laundering, price manipulation, sanctions evasion, and more, helping us stay in the black while reducing false positives and red flags. We should know, JP Morgan brought in ClearTrade, and they're helping us run faster and more efficiently. In addition to the significant cost savings, ClearTrade can help alleviate risk, increase transaction volume, open new markets, and so much more. Put it all together, and it's easy to see why we formed a global strategic alliance that's changing the way back-office operations will run today and in the future. It's everything you need to take advantage of the changing ways of the industry, but you need to start now before it's too late. Welcome to the future of digital trade. To find out more about our experience using ClearTrade, visit jpmorgan.com/trade or contact your JP Morgan representative.
That was really impressive. And on top of this, I'm going to show you guys the slides I was talking about. We got to share it again. Here we go. Oh, these are the slides we already showed you guys. Sorry about that. Still, this slide right here, just in case you just tuned in and you missed it. I mean, boom, there it is. What's there not to like, especially seeing XDC being part of the mix? Okay, so there's obviously a lot more to this, and I think I'm going to go to this part right here. just to give you a little bit more of an idea about ClearEye, right, with Clear Trade. So in regards to ClearEye, Clear Trade, like this fact sheet, if you will, and we'll blow this up a little bit more too. All right. It states what you see right here. An automated approach to reducing risk in trade finance operations, simplifying sanctions screening. This collaboration in regards to ClearEye AI with Finastra, Clear Trade uses NLP and advanced AI to seamlessly integrate existing systems, delivering high-speed end-to-end processing in trade finance transactions. This quote from, was it global head of trade finance? Clear Trade is intuitive, efficient, and is the best in the market. I mean, these are pretty bold statements. They have compared all their competition, and Clear Trade is superior to all. The team is outstanding. They understand the trade finance business and have a deep technology know-how. Their turnaround time is very impressive, and the KPIs are way superior to the products we have been using for many years. I'm not going to read all of this, but it states that financial institutions face challenges in screening trade documents. They do, due to the complexity involved in manually extracting relevant information from unstructured paperwork. This is a perfect example of why you see the breakdowns of, in supply chain, logistics, all that stuff, right? We know that if we're talking about the medical industry, how it's very bureaucratic and so on, and how, for instance, like when I was driving down the road, I listened to this lady that was involved in, the medical industry for over 20 years, talking about like, we need to get things put on blockchain. It would help us like scale things up dramatically. Things would get done a lot more efficiently. Typically speaking, like for everything that we want to do, it would take 18 months to accomplish that. Where if everything was put on blockchain, we're looking at like having everything done roughly within like 1 to 2 months. That is massive. Here's another example. What about in regards to the trade sector? Like it says, there are also high courier costs associated with ferrying physical documents between banks and corporates. There is, right? So I'm going to get more into this, and I'm going to show you this other part of what we have. It gives you like this workflow. I'm not going to get into necessarily the workflow, right? Because it's kind of like a little bit more of the nerdy stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's obviously other things to get into. Okay. So I thought I would conclude that in regards to the XDC segment. And I do thank you guys for tuning into it. It's nice to see some updates on what XDC is doing in the background with some of these other key players. Pretty impressive stuff, in my opinion, especially with this one with ClearEye. And we'll definitely look more into that in the future. Possibly take a deep dive into ClearEye.ai. We'll see.